Welcome to Manny's TV Talk, where we will talk about all of our favorite reality TV shows and news surrounding them. Grab a snack, a drink, and get comfortable because this starts now. Hello everybody and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 13 reunion. Let's get right into it.
Kyle, you're a punisher. You knew that by saying something, it was going to create a bigger problem for me. Do you really think that I'm an idiot?
Do you ever say I was wrong?
Okay guys, it is part 1 of the Beverly Hills reunion. I don't know about y'all, but my favorite part of reality shows are the reunions. I just love the reunions. So let's get started because we see the ladies arrive. It was about 6:30 a.m. and they began to get ready. They had trailers. Andy went to go see Kyle. He did tell her that Mauricio was going to join them a little later, and like for a second she got kind of scared, but he was just joking. But you guys, Erika goes over to Dorit's trailer. And the drama has already begun. So Dorit is pissed. She shows Erika a message that Kyle sent her recently. I don't even know if message is the correct word. It was like a book chapter. It was so long. So Dorit claims that this message is Kyle trying to silence her. And Erika, after she reads the text, says that she feels like this is a text that is trying to manipulate Dorit. They say that fair is fair, and this is not fair according to them. Once they are ready, they enter the studio, and I loved it. They used the same backdrop that they did for the Orange County reunion. Remember how for Orange County they made it look like they were at a beach? Well, here they made it look like they were like on the city of Los Angeles behind them. It was really nice. And he continues to greet all of them one by one. And then Andy mentions that Erika had said on Watch What Happens Live that she wanted Kyle to be eviscerated at the reunion because that's what they did to her. So he kind of want to know what Kyle thinks about that. And Kyle says that when she saw that headline, it definitely hurt her feelings. But she gets it. She understands that what the position that Erika was in a few years ago. So she didn't really take it personal because they are friends. So Andy asks Dorit, what does he think about what Kyle just said? And Dorit came in ready. She says, well, I find it very interesting that Kyle says her feelings were hurt when she read the headlines, because that's how I felt when I read the headline of Kyle saying that I exaggerated our friendship. So then Kyle says that she made that comment after the comments that Dorit made about Kyle, Mauricio, and Morgan. This was interesting. Kyle starts to kind of say that they're not that close. She's not saying that she's not important in her life, but Kyle felt like Dorit's comments regarding Morgan were going to, quote, create a bigger problem with her in the media. But Dorit was like, the situation with you and Morgan was already out there. Kyle says, yeah, but I still love you. Dorit says, but I know that it's in your nature to be a punisher. You haven't talked to me in months, and then all of a sudden you send me a text before coming to the reunion to manipulate me. Damn, this was a lot. Very, very fast. But then they switch gears a little bit. They watch Garcelle's season package. So her producing the movie, spending time with her kids, and those struggles, and then of course her problem with Dorit. After seeing that, Garcelle takes a time to talk about the parenting stuff, and she reveals that the dad, remember the one who was having the affair when he was married to her, he has never talked to the boys about it at all. And I mean, they are only like 15 or something, so maybe he should wait, but I did find that to be interesting. Then they talk about Garcelle saying that she doesn't trust the group around her kids. Dorit took it pretty hard out of all of them, and she says that it hurt her feelings hearing that her friend doesn't trust her. Garcelle says, well, it hurt my feelings seeing you guys laugh at my 14-year-old being cussed at. Boom! Thank you, Garcelle. Then Andy asks Garcelle about her saying that Dorit was an unconscious Karen, and Garcelle's like, well, yeah, that's how she feels. That word attack, she didn't like it. And Dorit says, I don't know all the words. You have to think about the intent and tell me, I didn't have the malicious intent. So Garcelle says, well, you were attacked, right? You say that people went in, they broke and held you at gunpoint. You were actually attacked, so you know what the word means. I did not attack you. Then Annemarie says to Garcelle, she kind of interjects and says, well, you have told these ladies, you kind of have given them a TED talk on using names and saying certain words like aggressive, angry, attacking, yet you and everybody else let Sutton say that I was screaming when I was simply talking. Garcelle tried to interrupt her, but Annemarie was like, I'm still talking. I'm still talking. I'm still talking. And Annemarie says, I'm a black woman too. And Dorit is the only one who actually stood up for me in that moment and said that I was not screaming. You know what? I agree with Annemarie, and I give her good for her for standing up for herself. But to go back to Dorit and Garcelle, Dorit says that she has used the word attack on many people, and she's mad that Garcelle said that she lived in a bubble. Garcelle says, well, you went on social media and doubled down. You really are clueless. Dorit says that it was a mistake. Crystal says, but you put a second post up as well. Dorit says, well, I did that to see, so that everybody could see that the only bubble that I live in is a bubble of love. Oh my gosh, this girl is crazy. And then she says to Garcelle, do you really think that me posting that was sticking up the middle finger at you? But everybody kind of agrees that it was kind of tone deaf for Dorit to post that. But Dorit is still very mad about this bubble comment and what it implies. And Garcelle says, well, what about the implication that you put on me by saying that I attacked you? Andy says that sometimes it's just better to listen. So Dorit says, Garcelle, let me ask you, do you like me? Garcelle says, sometimes. To switch gears, they show a montage of all the little sexual innuendos, jokes, comments, noises that the women made this season. It was funny for them to see that back. But they do touch on a comment that Krista made where she said that Dorit hadn't seen a real body part in years. So Dorit was like, what, other than my boobs, do you think is fake on me? And Crystal says, I was just trying to be funny. And Dorit says, funny. She was pissed, you guys. She really was. But they also pressed Sutton a little bit on who this driver that she kissed was, but she didn't really say much. Andy asked Kyle if she would ever date a woman, and she says that maybe she would. She's a little bit more open now. Then they see another season package. Annemarie, Wiley, the newbie. So they show her scenes of her being introduced with her family and her feuds with Sutton and Crystal. They do ask the ladies what they think of Annemarie being proud that her husband rates her an 8.5. I get secondhand embarrassment hearing that, I really do. But Andy does address something before he continues. He gives his condolences because her mother passed away recently. She had a tumor in her lungs. It started as a cough, and her mom was dying as she was filming the season. So I was so heartbroken for her. It was really, really sad. Andy touches on the audience's reaction and how a lot of them, anything that she does will never be okay. And she says that growing up, she's always had to deal with haters, especially being an athlete. So she's kind of numb to it. Then switching a little, Annemarie met Crystal before filming, right? So Annemarie says that Crystal was amazing when they first met, but once those cameras came up, Crystal changed. Andy does mentions that, anesthesiast and anesthesiologist sound very similar, so maybe could have Crystal maybe misheard it. Crystal says no because she's had this conversation with her sister, who is an anesthesiologist. So then when she said that her sister was an anesthesiologist, I was like, bingo, and I'm going to tell you guys why in a second. But Annemarie then gets her turn and says, okay, well, when I first met Crystal, she told me that she was a housewife. And Crystal starts screaming at her, who talks like that? But Annemarie says, nope, I'm not going to talk over you. But Annemarie does want to say that there is a big deal in the medical community. So the American Society of Anesthesiologists and then the Nursing Association of Anesthesiasts have like a turf war. It's like, politics and stuff like that, because they basically can do the same thing, but one is paid for less. So it got me thinking, I think Crystal started all this because her sister's an anesthesiologist and Annemarie is anesthesiast. So if it's true that they have beef behind the scenes, like anesthesists and anesthesiologists, I think that makes sense. Crystal then says that you weaponize your profession against Sutton. So Annemarie once again apologizes for the esophagus comments and all that. She says that honestly, watching the season back, that's the thing that she was the most deeply embarrassed by, and Sutton says that she's okay. What bothered her was Annemarie saying it to other people and also kind of insinuating that it could have came from an eating disorder. But again, Annemarie says, I'm sorry, so that's good. Also, y'all tell me why, while they were on their break, Kyle mentions Lisa Vanderpump when apparently Lisa Vanderpump met Crystal. Why is Kyle so obsessed with LVP? So then the next package that they go over is Crystal's, because believe it or not, they were able to gather enough scenes to make a montage. So she says that after they see that, she definitely has felt triggered that everyone has been getting so thin. And then Andy says that it was honestly interesting to see how Crystal behaved at that not toothless, homeless foundation, because that was crazy for Crystal to be calling Annemarie a B. So Crystal says that it was because it had to do with an eating disorder. Then Crystal says to Annemarie, "Are you ever going to apologize for saying I said Sutton had an eating disorder?" So Annemarie says, "Sutton, she did not say you had an eating disorder. None of us think that." She kind of just wanted to clarify that. Then they judge on Annemarie saying that Crystal told her negative things about the group, like they were uneducated, they were full of themselves, all that stuff. Crystal says that it's a lie and that Annemarie has been proven to be a liar, but Annemarie says, wait a minute, you lied and insinuated that Sutton was a racist and that something was dark. You have also had problems with 14 friends. I don't want to be a part of your system of lies. Crystal says, well, you're not in it. Andy also says, Dorit, you seem to be offended by being called uneducated. And Dorit says, well, I think I'm the only one with a college degree here. They're like, no, so is Annemarie. But then Crystal tries to have a moment with Dorit and says that she's not going to take back the uneducated comment because Dorit said that Crystal was a child bride, and because she's Asian, she thinks that it insinuated something. Dorit didn't even try to fight back. She just said that she referred to that because of Crystal's super young age when she got married, and Kyle even has her back on that. So then we continue to see Kyle's season package, all the things that she went through, her lifestyle changes, and then losing her friend. Her and Lorraine, her best friend, were friends since they were 7, and Kyle is asked how she's doing now. Kyle's still been doing therapy, but every day she feels different, like it's different emotions. Andy says that at the celebration of life, you could tell the disconnect with Kyle and Dorit. The question is, did anything change last reunion with them because of Kathy? So Dorit turns and says, this is what I want to talk about. She says that she wanted Kyle and Kathy to get along because she has great friendships with both of them. But Kyle says, well, me and you are closer, though, than you and Kathy. And you have agreed that Kathy has misbehaved in the past. Dorit says, well, the only time I've ever said anything about Kyle's bad behavior is when you have told me things that Kathy has done to you behind closed doors. And Kyle says, no, there's more to it. For example, what happened in Aspen. And Dorit kind of wanted to keep digging for Kyle to say it, but Kyle's like, no, I'm not going to say it because I don't want to offend my family. So Kyle insinuates that Dorit may be changed up because of what the audience thinks. Dorit says, I don't ever go based off comments, so that's not true. And that was the end of part 1. Again, you guys, really good reunion. I think this reunion might be better than the whole season was. But yeah, you guys, so let me know what are your thoughts in the comments section about everything that happened in this first part. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time. Y'all have a great one. Bye.